Very good morning to you. Welcome to Mornings with Ken Rosato. Today is Monday, March 16th, 2026. Taking calls at 888-658-0234. Extreme heat coming to California this week. Severe thunderstorms coming to New Jersey today. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
Severe stuff all around, Mike. Good morning.
Good morning, Ken. Yeah, we want to start with that severe weather that's forecast for New Jersey later tonight into tomorrow morning. Already a wind advisory up, but I don't think this is going to be the only weather warning that pops by the end of the day because some potential severe weather heads our way later on this evening. We start off very mild. It was chilly yesterday. Temperatures only made it into the 30s, but that warm weather starts off the day, 57 in Mount Holly, 61 to start the morning. So the southerly breeze prompting temperatures to warm up more than 20 degrees in spots, 22 degrees warmer than this time yesterday down in Mount Holly and Trenton, showing you that wind all out of the south and southeast is really working in at about 20-25 miles per hour, helping to fuel some of that light shower. So we had the gusty winds last night, some light sprinkles this morning. We get the day a little damp starting off our afternoon, but throughout the day some rain returns and then some thunderstorms pop up as the day goes along, as temperatures really spiked to 68 down in Lawrence and 67 in Monroe. So those temperatures really beginning to warm before the temperatures crash later on tonight thanks to the cold front. That'll occur later on this evening. You see by noon today, some of those downpours will be coming through, but it's after dinner time. That's that line of storms with the cold front that wipes across the state, delivering gusty winds, straight line winds that is, and of course much colder temperatures into tomorrow morning. So we're back down in the 30s with those winds out of the north and west this time tomorrow. It gets very breezy and it stays chilly all through the afternoon, basically a day like yesterday plus sun. So we keep the chill around through the rest of the week with temperatures about 10 degrees below average. That cool trend is what's forecast for this week. Look at highs, not even leaving the 40s each and every afternoon. It's dry for the most of this week, but plan on a much cooler feeling, especially with those winds around today and tomorrow, but a much different feeling this time tomorrow, Ken.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. But just a fascinating amount of extreme weather, crazy March, as they call it. We know why,
That's right.
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we'll crazy Ken on crazy March. It all works out. We'll check back with you, Mike. Thank you. And right now we have a temperature of 58 degrees in Los Angeles. That, again, is going to shoot up quite a bit in the next few hours and the next few days. So just a reminder of that. And in terms of Trenton, we have 58 degrees. Wow. Again, a tie between Los Angeles and Trenton, 51 degrees in northern New Jersey. In terms of traffic, a lot of it right now. Let's go to this traffic cam right now. This is the New Jersey Turnpike Eastern Spur by exit 16E, just south of the plaza. And you can already see these are the cars exiting off to get to Route 3, which make their way into the Lincoln Tunnel. You could already see at this hour all the traffic we have building up there. We have a problem with a vehicle fire on the Garden State Parkway right now, and this is north of the Colonia service area, Woodbridge, with a left lane blocked. Disabled bus also on the Garden State local lane southbound north of exit 120, Lawrence Harbor. That's in Old Bridge Township. All lanes are open. We have a tractor trailer fire on I-78, the express lanes westbound east of exit 55 in Newark. Right lane is closed. Crash now Route 38, and this is eastbound, east of Mansion Boulevard, Pennsauken, with a left lane closed. Traffic signal down Route 10, and that's blocking both directions at Hunter Street and Roxbury. One left lane, though, is absolutely closed, but all the lanes are impacted. Back to the Turnpike. Overturned vehicle now. That's northbound of the James Fenimore Cooper service area, Mount Laurel Township. Entrance ramp is blocked there. On and on and on it goes. And there are some truck restrictions at the GWB lower level eastbound. All lanes are open, but commercial vehicles exiting exit 73. That's common. The trucks can only take the upper level. Let's take a look at the Hudson River crossings overall. The Lincoln, which we told you about with the little bit of a delay as you get off the turnpike, Lincoln's already costing you 35 to 40 in. The Holland is costing you 30. GWB upper and lower levels would take a look right now, and you could see from the back view, very heavy. It's 40 to 45 minutes in, upper level on the right, lower, pardon me, on the left. Over to Los Angeles we go, and we have a report of a fire right now, and this is in South LA at the 710 by 710, the 710 at West Willow Street off-ramp. There's also a collision reported now in South LA, and that's at Redondo Beach Boulevard, 1145 West Redondo Beach Boulevard. And we have a wrong-way driver reported only in LA, right? This is in central LA right now. Just be very careful on the I-5 by the 110. By the connectors. So be careful with that. Wrong way driver reported. Be very, very careful. It's only 4:07 in the morning, West Coast, 7:07 East. And right now, we have the extreme heat once again to talk about in Southern California. Bracing for a heat wave, as Mike was saying, temperatures likely to be around or above 90 degrees every day through Friday. Some days could approach 100. In fact, there's an extreme heat warning posted for the LA area Wednesday through Friday. People need to be especially careful in areas that don't usually have air conditioning, like Malibu usually gets the breeze off the ocean. It's going to be hot no matter where you are. Then the further inland you go, the hotter it gets. The Mojave Desert, including the Coachella Valley, is expected to soar above 105, could shatter records for March. As for Palm Springs, they could see 111 degrees by Friday. And the same day, the town of Thermal, which is always hot, is expected to see 113 degrees. If you think rain is going to come along to cool things down, think again. Practically no chance of that. Even up in San Francisco, they could see temps approaching 90. The National Weather Service suggesting that residents at high risk for heat-related illness should limit any strenuous outdoor activity, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Stay hydrated, check on kids, elderly, and pets. The 98th Academy Awards, one for the record books. Host Conan O'Brien did a pretty good job hosting. The show memorialized the late Rob Reiner. Meanwhile, it was certainly an Oscar battle between one battle after another and sinners until the very end. But only one came out on top. Paul Thomas Anderson's drama about a washed-up revolutionary battling old foes for the safety of his daughter picked up Best Picture. In all, it earned 6 awards, including Best Supporting Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Director. But neither film really lost. Ryan Coogler's period vampire thriller that celebrated the origins of blues music and Southern Black culture earned 4 awards, including a history-making win in the Best Cinematography category and a much-celebrated Best Actor victory for Michael B. Jordan. Iran's foreign minister has denied claims that Iran requested a ceasefire and says his country will fight as long as it takes. In fact, Abbas Araghchi says that Iran has never even asked for negotiations. President Trump announced that Iran had requested a ceasefire, but said that he was not ready to make a deal with the country because the terms aren't good enough yet. Meanwhile, you can see the folks in the country are protesting, and they risk getting shot in the head for doing this. That shows you where they stand. Apparently, Trump said that American forces had totally demolished military targets on Iran's critical Karg Island, but suggested he might continue bombing it, quote, just for fun. Iran exports about 90% of its oil using that island. Trump's announcement comes as Israel launched wide-scale strikes on Iran over the weekend as the raging war between the countries entered its 3rd week. Horror at a Manhattan subway Saturday. A man was taken into custody after allegedly beating a strap hanger at Penn Station, who later died. The suspect was nabbed hours after he got into a heated argument with a 55-year-old man while standing on the downtown CE subway platform at 34th Street, Penn Station. The exact cause of the man's death still being investigated. It is unclear what charges the suspect would face. It is 10 minutes after the hour, and he says the cops were after him because he's black. The president of the LA City Council is getting slammed for emotionally claiming that he was targeted by cops due to that reason. Marquise Harris Dawson told colleagues that he was pulled over for no reason other than his race. But cops say he was actually pulled over not by the LAPD, but by LA school police officers for a moving traffic violation in a school zone. He was also reportedly calling officials at that point at the LA school district to try to weasel his way out of the citation, according to one report. School police say Harris Dawson was stopped after he was driving erratically on the freeway before exiting directly in front of the patrol car that stopped him and crossing the center divider to make an illegal U-turn. Hardly no reason to stop him. And they say that he did it by a school zone as children were arriving for morning drop-off. Not a smart time to blame racial bias for bad choices. The claims have sparked outrage from the city's powerful police union. No word on what will happen to the council president, but most are betting nothing. Court video shows the moment a meth head Florida driver hears that she is charged with a horrific hit and run that left an 8-year-old boy dead and a 10-year-old severely injured while they were crossing the street. 30-year-old Victoria Johnson laughed, cried, and had angry outbursts during her Friday court appearance. She faces 5 charges related to a hit and run crash Wednesday outside a church. The young victims, who have not been identified and were not related, had been at Faith Baptist Church for the pastor's 50th birthday celebration following Wednesday evening service. They were going across the street to buy cupcakes. The 10-year-old survived the incident, but is hospitalized and critical with a number of broken bones. Johnson originally called police Thursday to report her car was stolen, claiming that she lent it to somebody Wednesday night and they hadn't returned it. Police say she later confessed and admitted she was high on crystal meth and had a suspended license when she struck the children. And a 7-year-old girl was stabbed 3 times in the shoulder by a 10-year-old boy in the playground of her San Jose area school in an ultra-wealthy Bay Area neighborhood. Investigators say it's unclear if the pair even knew each other. Authorities say the boy knifed the girl, then took off in the upscale Mountain View area with police in hot pursuit. They eventually caught him with the help of home surveillance video and a canine. The boy allegedly used a kitchen knife that was recovered at Bob Elementary School. Police are trying to figure out a motive. And the founder of Uber, Travis Kalanick, says that he's leaving California, moving to Texas because of the huge list of billionaires all saying taxes in California are simply too high. 13 minutes past the hour. When we return, snacking habits are changing in a big way this year. We will explain. Meteorologist Mike Favetta returns with a full forecast, and we'll take calls at 888-658-0234. Watching Mornings with Ken Rosato, back in 2. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato for your Monday, live in New Jersey and New York. And now we welcome Los Angeles and San Diego at 15 minutes past the hour. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. Extreme heat out west, thunderstorms to the east. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
So, Mike, our friend Dave Bondi, who comes on the air a lot here from Michigan, he's from Flint, Michigan. He said they got 172 feet of snow. Is that true?
They got a lot of snow out in the Midwest, and that's the same storm, Ken, that provides the storms for us here in New Jersey later on this evening. First, we have the milder start to the day, and that's coupled with fog. It was very cold yesterday, so the ground was cool. You put immediate warm air on top of that, of course, with a little bit of moisture and light drizzle that's around, you get some fog, and we are at 0 mile visibility right now in Newark. Everywhere you see that shade of red, that's some low visibility, and that goes right down the shore to Ship Bottom, less than a mile visibility in Toms River, and most places in New Jersey. So we begin with the cloudy, foggy scenario. We have the light rain on and off through the day. If you thought yesterday was gray, oh, just wait till today, because now we have the gray coupled with some rain showers that'll take us into this afternoon. It's much milder throughout the morning as opposed to yesterday. We're adding about 20 degrees to yesterday's high temperature, but it will feel much, much colder by day's end thanks to those 50-mile-per-hour gusts on LBI. Those are the winds coming off of the water. That's not the thunderstorm gusts that could approach severe limits by the end of the day. So thunderstorms on the way for later on this evening. I think it's after the evening rush. Could run into a quick downpour or two later today, but it's those winds that really make it feel cold. Go from the 60s today down into the teens later on tonight. Tomorrow morning's commute weather, 20s and, well, just 20s, teens and 20s on the way for the early part of the day. Staying chilly into Thursday and Friday with that wind still howling for the rest of the week. And it stays really chilly even coming up into the weekend with highs not really rebounding. There will be some breaks of sun tomorrow. That's really the only saving grace. You see the big line of storms out in the Midwest, and then of course all of that snow into Michigan. Chicago had some impressive snows as the system marches eastward. So we'll enjoy the mild weather to begin the morning, but again, it gets wet in a hurry today. It's already wet across New Jersey, but those downpours come through. Thunderstorms this evening, clearing out tonight, and then very gusty cold winds for the rest of the week. It's like another return to winter, because this is the last week of winter, so winter doesn't want to go without a fight, and you'll feel it, especially into this weekend. Another round of chilly weather, potentially some showers on Saturday. Sunday should start to turn drier before more rain comes in Sunday night, and then I think Monday we clear things out, but still waiting for that big warm up ahead as we head into next week. I think it's going to take some time, considering even this weekend we start off wet, but only make it into the 50s both days. That's just average for the first weekend in spring, Ken. Spring begins on Friday.
Crazy way to start spring, but that's the way we do it. Wow, spring in LA, it's going to be a zillion degrees too. Craziness.
It
Thank you,
will.
sir. Yeah, bring out the fans. But they say it's a dry heat, so who knows? It's a dry heat. Listen, 110 degrees, dry or not, is nasty. It is now 18 minutes past the hour, and we check our traffic. By the way, temperatures, I should say, excuse me. We have 52 degrees northern New Jersey, 58 degrees in Trenton, and 58 degrees in Southern California. It's been a number of times in the last week where we've had the same temperature in LA and in Trenton. Find that interesting. And we broadcast in both areas. Let's check our traffic. Let's start with the Garden State Parkway. We have a vehicle fire reported northbound Garden State, north of the Colonia service area, Woodbridge. The left lane is blocked, and you could see the damage that's causing to the roadway there. Lots of heavy traffic making your way through there. Again, that's in Woodbridge on the Garden State Parkway. Over to the I-78, we have a tractor trailer fire on I-78 by the express lanes westbound east of exit 55, which is Lyons Avenue, Newark. You can see through the fog a lot of traffic. The right lane is closed, and that's causing some massive delays. Over to Pennsauken Township, we have a crash at 38 eastbound east of Mansion Boulevard in Pennsauken. The right lane closed there. Traffic signal down on Route 10. That's by Hunter Street in Roxbury, left lane closed. And then back to the New Jersey Turnpike, we have a crash and an overturned vehicle on the Turnpike northbound, entering at James Fenimore Cooper service area, Mount Laurel Township, with the entrance ramp blocked. Lots of areas of patchy fog to watch out for. Mike talked about this. Remember, it's raining this morning in much of the New York area, New York, New Jersey area. severe thunderstorms coming later. Just be prepared, dress accordingly, plan accordingly time wise. Bring an umbrella, bring rain gear, bring galoshes and stuff because we're talking some heavy thunderstorms are possible. All right. So just be aware of that. Look at the Hudson River crossings right now. The Holland Tunnel's 25, Lincoln is already 35. And the GWB upper and lower levels very heavy at 45 to 50 minutes. Upper level is on the right, lower levels on the left. We go over to Los Angeles right now. We have a hit and run. It says no injuries at National Boulevard and Sepulveda Boulevard. There's a traffic collision located in South LA at Redondo Beach Boulevard by Gardena Memorial. And there's a runway driver report at Central LA by the 5 and the 110 interchange. It is 21 minutes past the hour. Snacking habits are changing in a big way this year as more Americans turn away from ultra-processed foods and back towards something that feels a little more familiar and wholesome. Misty Skolnick is the co-owner of Uncle Jerry's Pretzels. The brand hand rolls sourdough pretzels using just 5 ingredients. And we say good morning to you, Misty.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. You know what? I like to make bagels at home, and I found out from a friend that pretzels and bagels are actually first cousins. Just one is more baked than the other and a little more crunchy. Am I right?
That sounds about right. Yes.
They're great, but I love the fact that you keep it simple, and that's what makes it so delicious. While everybody else is putting God knows what in their snack foods, you keep it original and authentic. So talk about that and why consumers are craving those familiar snacks.
Sure. My dad started the company 40 years ago. He started in Philadelphia with this all natural sourdough pretzel with just 5 ingredients. We haven't changed the recipe in this entire time. Customers are really returning to wanting to know what's in their pretzels, what's in their snack foods, so that they can feel good about it. You also see a lot of large food brands responding to this demand because they're buying up smaller companies like ours in order to have a small natural food product in their portfolio. So it's really interesting to see the trend coming back to these simple foods.
So while you have the Frito-Lays of the world, et cetera, putting like bright glowing, this is not the fault then, but they're trying to go for that nationwide audience and put artificial
Right.
this and artificial that to make all these weird colors and flavors. It's nice and refreshing to get a pretzel. If you've never had a real Philadelphia pretzel, you don't know what you're missing. I mean, I'm in Jersey, but I was born in New York. I thought, New York has pretzels till I tried a Philly pretzel. There is a big difference. I don't know if it goes back to the water that you have, but there's a big difference. So do you see that there's sort of an emotional trust that developed way back and it just continues through the generations so that when they see an authentic Philadelphia 5 ingredient pretzel, that's what their hearts go to?
Oh, definitely. I think people are really digging into that nostalgia for pretzels that they used to snack on when they were a kid. Loyalty goes a long way. And my dad has always been true to his word. He's built up this amazing brand. And over the years, the word has spread and we've just maintained a really steady following. And as people learn about us, they stick to us.
So was Dad Jerry, or is that an actual uncle that you had?
That is my actual father. He's an uncle to some though.
That's awesome. Is he still with us?
Yes. If you can believe it, he's still making deliveries in Philadelphia today.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. And he must be so proud of
Yes.
you and so proud of the company and how it's grown. So there's this growing idea of quiet luxury in food, but fewer snacks, better quality. That's the key there. So how does that mindset align with what you do? You don't have an array of 500 flavors and 500 types of snacks. You keep it simple.
We focus on what we do best. That's a 5 ingredient pretzel. We do have a line of chocolate covered pretzels that are seasonal. But what we're seeing is that as people are starting to think about ultra processed foods in a much more significant way, they are willing to pay just a little bit more in order to find a higher quality pretzel or snack food. And people really want to support small family businesses. I think that remains true, and you see that trend growing as well, which is wonderful.
I think people have to understand that the reason why some of the big companies, and I say big in quotes, air quotes, why they could do it cheaper is they're substituting ingredients. They're not using the real stuff. When you have partially hydrogenated this and that, that's cheaper. They could mass produce it, right, for cheaper, but you could taste the difference. I am amazed. When I was a kid, I used to go to bakeries. I'm sure you've experienced this. You ate a cookie and it tasted like butter. It tasted rich. Today, you go to bakeries, even in the New York, northern New Jersey, where we are here, you taste the cookies. They taste just like, I mean, there's zero flavor because they're not using butter anymore. They're not using real sugar. They're using corn syrup and et cetera. Why even bother wasting the calories? Because you're not going to get the experience. But when you bite into a pretzel like an Uncle Jerry's pretzel, you're getting what it tasted like exactly 100 years ago or 50 years ago and made Philadelphia so famous.
Yes, I think companies are constantly reformulating their ingredients and customers can taste the difference. We haven't. And I should also add that one reason customers can kind of see with these big snack food brands that maybe they don't taste quite the same as they're machine made. Uncle Jerry's has and always will be handmade. So we roll out the dough, we mix the dough, everything's by hand, and you really can taste the difference.
So do you actually do you do the twists and whatnot to make the pretzel the way it is?
I do not personally. I have tried. I am nowhere nearly as skilled as the women that we work with, but my pretzel comes out a little wonky looking. I admit it.
You know what? Wonky tastes delicious. That makes it authentic and original and different, right? There's no two the same that way. I love that. We have to check out a website for more information. So can people order them to their homes no matter where they are in the country?
Absolutely. Just go to our website, unclejerryspretzels.com, and you'll see all we have available.
I love it. And I love the fact that you stay authentic and you stay original. You do us proud. I mean, we're Philadelphia adjacent being in New Jersey, so we're very happy to be next to you. Misty Skolnick, and I love the name Misty. What a sweet name. That
Thank
mom
you.
and dad had a sweet spot when they named you that. Misty
Oh, they
Skolnick,
did.
co-owner of it's true. I mean, that's a sweet name. Co-owner of Uncle Jerry's Pretzels. Thank you for coming on this morning. May you have 1,000 more years of success with the company.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. 28 minutes past the hour. When we come back, officials in Elizabeth just unveiled a new 5-year roadmap designed to expand affordable housing, much needed for the community. Phone lines are open, 888-658-0234. Severe weather both in the east and the west. Meteorologist Mike Favetta will be back to tell you about it. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. Back in 2 minutes. Very good morning. It's 30 minutes past the hour, Monday, March 16th, 2026. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato, live on the East Coast and the West Coast. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
So, Mike, because of the severe clash of fronts we're going to get here in New Jersey, we're getting this cold air, a big line of storms that caused all that blizzard-like conditions in the Midwest.
Sure.
And then you have this mild 65-degree air here, and the two are just going to go. Is there a chance of tornadoes in parts of the state?
Probably west of here. So this time of year in New Jersey, the Atlantic is very chilly, and that tends to suck all of the energy out of these systems as they march their way eastward. So in the Midwest, certainly tornadoes likely, maybe even across parts of Pennsylvania. New Jersey, unlikely, simply because we have that chilly weather and that chilly air coming in off of a very cold Atlantic. So again, that tends to take all the energy away from any tornadic activity. But straight line winds, certainly possible. Look at this front that's lined up off to our west, moving eastward. And it's that system that's being pushed by this large area of very hot weather out west with extreme heat, record highs this week down in LA and all the way up into the mountains north of San Francisco. That persists not just today, but even extends into tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday with the extreme heat warnings out west. So very unusual warmth. Meanwhile, out east, we have record cold. It's just the tale of two extremes as this record cold pushes down through the northeast into today and tomorrow, bringing with it some very chilly weather heading into the remainder of this week. So first we get the cold front today after lots of snow out in the Midwest. We just tap into that severe weather and straight line winds tonight. There's another round of cold weather that comes in by Thursday with another front, so reinforcing shots of chilly weather this week. But first, more appropriately, is this thunderstorm activity that will get going throughout the afternoon. Just downpours likely with some gusty winds, but the real newsmaker and the headline will be this evening between 7 and 10 this evening as that front pushes eastward, giving us even some gusty winds tomorrow with a sharp drop in temperatures. We lose about 30 degrees overnight tonight, so it stays very chilly. You can even see where all of this energy is coming from the south. We'll talk more about that and what to expect for the rest of this week. See if there's any warm up in our future out east, and if there's any cool down out west coming up in the next few minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. By the way, Mike, we're going to talk about, now that I have you on, our next guest, we're having a little technical issue with, so we have a little time to kill if you have a second. You and I both know, being raised in the New York area, a guy named Ernie Anastas, who has been on television in New York. He's originally from New Hampshire. I know a lot of people don't realize this. He's been on television in New York since the late 1970s, early 1980s, right? He was on Channel 7. He was on Channel 2. He was on Channel 5. He was even on Channel 11. He did a Sunday morning show. Truly one of the nicest human beings in or out of broadcasting. And he passed away the end of last week. I think it was Thursday afternoon. He passed away. So Ernie was a friend of mine. I don't know if you had ever had a chance to meet the man. Have you met Ernie?
I just remember hearing him speak at the Emmys because he would be one of the kind of like special presenters because he was such a legend. And to hear the man talk outside of news, obviously, and outside of banter on TV, what a class act.
He never, and I know it sounds like, come on, hyperbole. He never spoke negatively of anyone. If you sat down, and I've been to many luncheons with him and different award ceremonies, and we usually sit together. It's funny, they grouped the Channel 7 alum together, and he was on Channel 7 before he went to Channel 2 and then Channel 5. I think it was at Channel 5 longer than any of the stations, but people still remember him when he was with Kaidi Tong on Channel 7. He did the 5 o'clock news, if you recall, way back. And then he was the main anchor, I guess, at Channel 2. And then at Channel 5, and that was the longest version. Then he went to WABC Radio, WOR Radio, and he did amazing. And then he did Channel 11, but he was all about positivity. Ernie never talked negatively, like you never heard him curse. Ironically, of course, there was the one episode where he meant to say pluck a duck on the air, and you'll recall it went viral. He actually accidentally the F word, or it sounded like the F word. I don't think he was saying it. It sounded like he said blank a duck. He was saying pluck, like pluck a duck's feathers as a joke, and it came across as something else. But Ernie doesn't use foul language. So that's the funny thing, that's what people remember him for, when he was the most G-rated guy you'd ever meet. Kind, good-hearted. He was from Westchester County, or lived in Westchester County. I think he lived in Armonk when he passed away. Wife is lovely. Ernie invested in radio stations. That was his broadcasting is his heart. And I remember when I was fired from Channel 7, and I saw him at a luncheon about 3 or 4 weeks later, he pulled me aside and he wanted to be my coach. He said, here's my agent. Call my agent. I want you to call this person. I want you to call that person. You're too good to be off the air. He made me feel so good at a time, you feel like the whole world has been yanked from you. And I will never forget that man. God rest his soul. Today, by the way, is the wake at Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church in New Rochelle, and tomorrow is his funeral. I will be at both. If you want to come join, please do so. My husband worked with him at channels 2 and 5, and I worked with him. No, I never worked with him. I just knew him from the industry, and we both worked at 7 at different times. But I think the world is an emptier place without the guy you see right there at the very far right of your screen, Ernie Anastas, 82. He was 80 in that picture. Does that man look 80?
Wow.
Unbelievable. And not only did he look gorgeously handsome, that is his real hair, and those are his real teeth. And but yet at the same time, his brain was sharp as a tack. There was nothing slow about him. Amazing
And I
man.
remember him using Greek on the air, the Greek language. Every once in a while, he would drop it. Yeah.
Very proud. In fact, one of his very dear friends is Nick Gregory. I'm sure you know Nick. You got to know Nick. Who doesn't know Nick? Nick at Channel 5, their chief meteorologist. Or is he? I don't know if he's the chief. I know there's him and um, what's her name? I'm sorry. Now
Audrey?
I'm embarrassed. Audrey Puente. Oh, forgive me. Audrey's going to kill me. Audrey's a doll. She's awesome. The two of them have done well at Channel 5 as great meteorologists there. Nick is another proud Greek American in the New York area. And I believe it was Nick's dad who was the pastor of the church in New Rochelle. He was a Greek Orthodox priest where Ernie attended. So this
Wow.
is just a small business, a small world.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, we will definitely miss him. And anyone, just say a little prayer today and a little toast to Ernie, the kindest man in the business. Sorry to just wax poetically so long, but if anybody deserves an entire block to be praised,
Yeah.
that's a guy on the screen right there. That's a guy. What channel do you remember him from when you were growing up?
For me, growing up, I remember him from 5.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the pluck a duck incident?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was in school at the time, so who could not remember that? Yeah. Or in my
You know,
formative early green broadcasting years of, you know, that's all everybody talked about.
the funny thing is I don't think that would have gone viral if not for the lovely, very kind Daria Alexander who was sitting next to him. Do you remember her face when he
Yeah.
said it? Her face went like this. And it was frozen because she just thought, did he just end his career? You could tell she felt for him, like, what did you just say? But you could see Ernie did not mean to say, if he in fact said what people think he said, I don't think he meant it. And nor do I think he said it. He was trying to say pluck a duck, like pluck a duck's feathers. They were talking about that. But anyway, Ernie, who's just a kind man, and we just wish his family well, and may he rest in peace. Mike, thank you so much for
You bet.
staying on with me. I know you got to get the weather, and you have a busy weather day, but it is indeed a very sad time for the broadcasting industry, and we lost. That is one of the legends. I saw the memes over the weekend, them putting him with other people in New York. I'd say, with the exception of Roger Grimsby and Bill Butel, of course, Rosanna Scotto. And remember the person they called on Saturday Night Live, they called her Rosanna Dana, was a real
Yeah.
live person. That was Rosanna, help me, Rosanna, oh my God, Roseanne Scamardella. Forgive me, getting old. Roseanne Scamardella, who's still very much alive in Connecticut right now, very retired. Lovely lady. But Roseanne Scamardella and Ernie Anastas, they did the first 5 o'clock news on Channel 7. Channel 4 debuted live at 5. And as is often the case, when there was a little success with the Channel 7 or the other channels, they all had to follow suit. So Channel 7 came on with their 5 p.m. news, and it was Roseanne Scammerdella and Ernie Anastas. And they took that 5 o'clock slot away from Channel 4 in about 2 minutes because they were such a team. Roseanne Scammerdella, and she made no bones about it. She had crooked teeth. She had just regular hair. She was a housewife from Connecticut. And she was like, this is who I am. Take me or leave me. And we took her. She was great.
Mhm.
Amazing. She just related to everybody. And Ernie Anastas certainly did too. I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate you allowing me to wax poetically. And we unfortunately, we're going to have to bring our person back. Right, Pam? We'll have the person back another time. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're having trouble with the audio connection. So, but again, this was time well spent talking about our friend Ernie.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much again, Mike. We appreciate you, sir, as always. And just everybody watch out for that severe weather, both East Coast and West Coast. All right, we'll check back with you, Mike, in a minute. It's coming up on 42 minutes past the hour. When we come back, brand and digital strategist Fisher will join us to talk about Meta. You know, Meta, the parent company of YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. Meta is allegedly gearing up for massive layoffs that could impact about a fifth of its workforce. What that could mean for you and your day-to-day activities, if anything. Does this mean AI is taking over? We'll see. Meteorologist Mike Favetta, our good friend who was just on, he will return with your full forecast. And again, we have severe weather happening in both the East and West Coasts, so the Southern California, all the way up to San Francisco, in fact. They're going to get a severe extreme heat wave. Temps about 110 to 115 in the Coachella Valley. LA getting 100 degrees by Friday or through the week. And no rain. Just lots of baking heat. And that usually doesn't happen until at least like May, June. And that only happens usually a day, not a whole week. East Coast, severe thunderstorms. I mean, severe thunderstorms later. So be careful with that. And we'll take calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato, now live on the East Coast and the West Coast. ONNJ.com and ONLACA.com. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato at 45 minutes past the hour. We will take your calls at 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. If you want to talk about Ernie Anastas and your memories of him, you're welcome to share with us too. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast for your city.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
Mike, we just talked about our dear friend Ernie, whom we just lost, Ernie Anastas in New York, but Los Angeles just had a bloodbath, if I may say. They had layoffs. I guess it's one of the TV stations. I won't mention the company specifically, but one of them laid off anchors, kind of like when Channel 2 in New York laid off its anchors back in the 90s. They laid off like people who had been there decades. This one channel in LA laid off I guess Mark Cricky, who had been doing weather. You probably know Mark or know of him. He had been doing weather in LA for 35, 40 years. I mean, it's crazy. And they literally just unceremoniously announced, these people are gone. That's it. That's the nature of broadcasting today, sadly. It's very, very sad to see that. But he and a number of anchors from that station just shown the door, not allowed to say goodbye. And people ask all the time, why can't they say goodbye? 99 out of 100 times, it's not a nice parting, and they don't want to give the person the opportunity to potentially say something on the air. So that's usually why they don't even say anything. It's like they never existed, and it's very sad. Anyway, I'm sorry to take your time.
Coming along. No, I smell a book coming along, Ken. And then you can have the sequel. You know, you talk about the New York weather, you have the LA news. I don't know. I think it's just like encyclopedia of knowledge that you carry.
Tell all. A tell-all.
Tell-all. That's it. A tell-all. Yeah, a tell-all. Through the years. We're waiting for some warmer weather because it feels like we've had this winter that has been lasting for years here in the East Coast. We get another blast of cold weather later on tonight. Lasts all week, and it comes at a time where the pollen is actually a little bit higher. If you've been noticing maybe eyes a little scratchy after a long day, the tree pollen is beginning with those severe storms lining up to our west. We tap into some very gusty winds later on today. First, there'll be a few spotty showers around this afternoon, but the straight line winds with gusts up to 60 miles per hour potentially here across New Jersey as that front pushes through. It is likely. Tornadoes, probably not the case. A lot of those stay out west, but it's this winter pattern that returns thanks to this jet stream dipping way down south and providing us with that cold blast of Arctic air. However, out west, you can see just how vastly different the weather is, promoting all of that warm air, and that parks itself across the desert southwest for most of this week, allowing for temperatures to soar by the end of the week there. It stays rather mild throughout this morning across the East Coast like we've been talking. The temperature in Trenton and LA pretty similar now, but that changes. We'll tell you how cold coming up with our New Jersey weather forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Mike. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you. And by the way, our temperatures again in Trenton, we have a temperature of 58 degrees. Los Angeles, still 58. So we're tied, Trenton and Los Angeles right now. That's going to change tonight, as Mike was saying, as the front comes through. It's going to drop like 35 to 40 degrees. Imagine cutting half what we have right now. And it's going to be bitter. Well, not bitter cold, but very cold tonight. Bitter is like single digits. Very cold is 20s. That's what it's going to be. But imagine going from 65 to 20s. That's why the big thunderstorms are coming through New Jersey. So 58 LA, 58 Trenton. It's 51 northern New Jersey right now, and it is raining in New Jersey throughout the state. In terms of traffic, we have a lot of traffic. You have to check out this funky looking shot. Look at this. So this is Route 139, which connects from the New Jersey Turnpike over to the Holland Tunnel. And it's just a weird shot. Look at that. So this is the 139 eastbound at the New Jersey Turnpike. And the reason for that, we have a crash on the Turnpike Hudson County Extension eastbound, just east of 14B, which is what connects you to 139. The right lane is blocked, and that's causing this mess. But because we have patchy fog, because of the clash of fronts, this is what you're going to have this morning. Just be very careful. And then there is as you go on, another crash on 139 itself, lower level eastbound by the Jersey Turnpike. So by the split, rather, the left lane of 3 lanes closed there. It's pretty bad. So be careful of that. We have a vehicle fire on the Garden State Parkway northbound, north of the Colonia service area, Woodbridge, left lane blocked. Tractor trailer fire on I-78 by the express lanes westbound east of Route 50 or exit 55 rather, Lyons Avenue, Newark. The right lane is closed there. Over to Route 10, we have a traffic signal down now, and that's in both directions at Hunter Street, Roxbury Township. Left lane is closed. Back to the turnpike. Overturned vehicle. And that is on the turnpike northbound, entering at the James Fenimore Cooper service area, Mount Laurel Township, with the entry ramp blocked. What an absolute mess. Look at the Hudson River crossings. We mentioned what's going on going into the Hollands. Now, as a result of trying to get through to and through the Hollands, going to cost you 35 minutes. Lincoln Tunnel, not that much better. It's about 35 across, and GWB is a mess. Upper and lower levels, 80-95 approach. Look at this. That is an absolute mess. So they changed their camera shot, but from what I could see, the upper is that upper right corner is your upper level approach, and the lower left by where it says mornings, that's your lower level. It's just a different camera shot, but it's going to cost you over 45 minutes in making your way into Manhattan today. Aren't you glad you're at home right now? Me too. Oh, by the way, today, New Jersey Transit is supposed to go back to its old schedule. With the old Portal Bridge. So if you take the Portal Bridge over the Hackensack River, you take New Jersey Transit, check your schedule today. It should be back to the old schedule. So you'll have double the amount of trains. You shouldn't be packed on the trains. And I think a lot of people are going to be taking the trains when they see that mass transit. Let's go over to California right now, if we can. Southern Cal right now. We have an assist with maintenance. So there's I guess they're doing a little work there at the Caltrans Torrance by Belly Drive in South LA. Traffic collision reported in Santa Fe Springs at the 60 at Hacienda Boulevard. Another collision, and this is in Altadena by the 134 at the Westerly Pass Avenue. We have a wrong way driver reported Central LA by the 5 at the 110. Just be careful of that. Well, Meta is allegedly gearing up for massive layoffs that could impact a fifth or more of its workforce, and that could mean thousands of people left looking for work as the company works to offset skyrocketing AI infrastructure costs. To talk about that and more, as he joins us every week at this time, brand and digital strategist Fisher, who can be found on Threads and X with username @Fisher and through his website, fisher.media. Good morning, Fisher.
Good morning.
Aren't you glad that, I guess Threads is part of Meta, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah, Threads is.
And Instagram,
So
yep.
Yeah, there you go. So we are going to be impacted. So first of all, what is a massive potential workforce reduction? Why is it happening? And what does that mean for the average user?
Yeah, so why it's happening is to offset the high costs of Meta's massive bets on artificial intelligence infrastructure and to prepare for greater operational efficiency driven by AI. CEO Mark Zuckerberg has highlighted AI's potential to transform work, noting that projects once requiring large teams can now be handled by a single highly talented person using AI assistants. Now, no specific date has been set for these layoffs and the final scale has not been decided, but top executives have recently signaled the plans to senior leaders and instructed them to start preparing reductions. Meta has nearly 79,000 employees at the end of the last reporting period, which was last year. A 20% cut would mean roughly 15,800 plus jobs affected, making it the company's largest reduction since the 2022-23 year of efficiency restructurings. Meta's AI push includes plans to invest $600 billion in data centers. By 2028, huge pay packages to attract top AI talent to new superintelligence team and recent acquisitions. Now, a Meta spokesperson has called the reporting speculative and theoretical approaches, but there are many sources kind of going along with this. Now, remember, Meta started as a person-to-person organization where Mark Zuckerberg in his dorm room was trying to get people to interact with each other, and now it's becoming very AI-based, which I guess it's still a way to get people to interact, but it may not be with real people at the end of the day.
Yeah, but remember when Elon Musk took over then Twitter, now X, and he laid off like 70% or something, 70 or 80% of the workforce, and it didn't really have a negative impact. That was before AI was a big thing. He was just starting to
Correct.
rock, and now X is running pretty fine, and he's saving all that money. Finally made it profitable.
Yeah, this won't affect end users necessarily because it is to ramp up and make Meta more efficient by involving AI. Back in that 2022-23 year of efficiency, I got wrapped up in that too with Meta. So yes, the reduction is there, and a lot of that was bloat. From the crazy buying that they did, or crazy hiring, excuse me, that they did during the pandemic. So that wasn't as big. These might actually be, real world. Again, when you're talking about taking teams and reducing them to one efficient person, or highly skilled person, that's a big deal. That's not just bloat. It's to build up, and we're seeing that a lot, where companies are hiring a lot of people to spin up AI, and then once AI is settled, they ramp the personnel back down. Now, mind you, a couple of months ago, Amazon had an issue where AI decided that its code was inefficient and deleted the code to rewrite it. It took a couple hours, and eventually AWS, Amazon Web Services, eventually came up back online, but it took down parts of the internet for a couple hours while AI decided that the code was inefficient. So it has, I guess going back to you asking what are the implications, possibly Instagram not working for a couple hours as AI decides that the code is bad, could be something, but it's unlikely.
Creepy when the computer says, yeah, the way this is, we're going to do it this way.
Yeah.
Whoa. And that should be an indicator of things to come. When we think that, as long as humans control it, well, there you go.
Go
It's
watch
like
Will Smith's movie,
how
I,
the computer.
Robot. Yeah.
Right. Or go back and watch Space Odyssey 2000 and you'll see what we're talking about. We got about a minute left. Adobe paying a steep price for its subscription practices with a $150 million settlement. So what's that about?
Yeah, the government claims that Adobe's annual paid monthly subscription plan had hefty early termination fees, sometimes hundreds of dollars, and everything was buried in the fine print, hyperlinks or boxes, and they also slow rolled when you call customer service. So basically, $150 million fine, $75 million going as a civil penalty paid directly to the government, and $75 million in free services provided to the customers affected.
Yeah. So when they tell you, all you got to do is, it's easy to cancel if you don't like it, then it turns out you have to open an encyclopedia, call 500 people, wait on hold 4 hours, and then they'll tell you in 6 months we'll get around to it. Not a good thing.
It's about that.
Brand,
it was.
Yeah, exactly. And that's hopefully everybody wakes up to that, because I've encountered others that still haven't. Brandon, digital strategist Fisher, who could be found on Threads and X with the username @Fisher and through his website, fisher.media. Always a pleasure. We'll see you again next week.
Thanks, Ken. Take care.
You too. Oh, by the way, it's his birthday today. Or not that today, it's this week, but it's his birthday on the 19th. So everybody wish him a happy birthday online. Go to his website. Happy birthday, Fisher. All right. It is coming up on 58 minutes past the hour. For those of you watching on LACA on the West Coast, stay tuned for your local news. If you're watching ONNJ on New Jersey, we'll be right back live with the live New Jersey news, traffic, weather, and opinion. We'll be back in 2. Morning, it's 8 a.m., Monday, March 16th, 2026. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Showers this morning, windy, mild, thunderstorms likely today. Some could be severe, highs in the mid-60s. Then the temps are going to drop like a rock. Drop by 35 degrees to the upper 20s overnight. Let's head to meteorologist Mike Favetta with a check of the Garden State forecast.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
Mike, I can't believe that it's going to be mid-60s, although the wind is going to make it feel a little chillier than that, the wind and the rain, but mid-60s and then drop into the mid to upper 20s in just hours.
If you remember a
from
week
now. It's
ago,
crazy.
it was in the low 80s and then it snowed the next day. So this is the type of weather where you need all four seasons at the ready. It's kind of hard for the
Crazy
wardrobe,
March.
considering you're kind of, you think you do laundry, you're like, wait a minute, why is there a heavy sweater in here with like shorts and a t-shirt? But there we are. This is the type of weather that will really send you spinning, with some showers that are already working through northern New Jersey right now at 8:01. Live radar shows a little bit of that wet weather crossing New Jersey, giving us the wet roadways to start, but I think more rain is on tap through the course of the afternoon. We're already at 61 degrees to start the day in Camden. Very, very mild, even as compared to this time yesterday. 23 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. If you remember, it was around freezing for most of the day, and it stayed very chilly, especially with a little bit of a breeze. Well, now that wind picks up through the morning. Winds out of the south bring in some more showers today, likely some downpours, but the real gusty winds and storms arrive later tonight. That's why every Audio Nova city here on the map has those thunderstorms. But again, it's not till later on this evening after 7 p.m. With that, we start off the day quite breezy with the showers and clouds, and of course a little bit of rain in there through the end of the day. But after 7, that's when the line of storms pushes through. Straight line winds, likely gusts up to 50, maybe 60 miles per hour. And then after midnight, it all clears out and temperatures drop quickly, feeling like the teens and 20s tomorrow with wind chill, even though actual high temperatures just hover around the freezing mark. We're in the 20s again on Thursday to start, climbing only into the 30s by the afternoon, and it stays chilly going into the rest of this week. So very cold weather as compared to last week on the way. We'll start off each morning around the freezing mark, climbing only into the 40s, dry for the remainder of the week. Even though today is pretty wet, at least we get some sunshine back tomorrow, despite the cold weather, Ken.
All right. And Mike, before you come off the screen, I have to share this with you. Sometimes you just have to. Look at the New York Post headline. Okay, I don't know if you can make that up. I'll read it because it's not
Go
focusing.
ahead.
It says, Trump briefed that Iran's new supreme leader, oh, of course, a pop-up, so that Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, is probably gay, and president has priceless reaction. So the word was, the guy we haven't seen yet, we've only gotten press releases from God knows where, from his underground bunker. Some have said he was dead. Some have said he had his leg blown off and was severely injured and in a coma. Others have said that his father, the late supreme leader, did not want him to be in charge. Why would he not want him to be in charge? That might be it. His kid is gay, and you can't be gay in Islam, not radical Islam. So that's interesting. So now we might imagine the irony that Iran might have a gay leader who would say, put on the hijab, put on the hijab. I just want to see this. Somebody's going to call in about that, I'm sure. All right, Mike is being very good about that. He's like, Ken, you're just burying yourself. You go ahead, baby. All right, Mike, thank you so much. We will check back with you in a little bit, sir. Much appreciated. God bless Mike. It is 58 degrees right now in Trenton, 53 degrees or 54 now, northern New Jersey, and it is raining. We have... You just had to. I mean, look, it's a headline. I'm not making it up. It's in the New York Post. It's their exclusive. So we have to give New York Post props. That is their exclusive headline. In terms of crashes, we got a lot of them. Look at this. My gosh. We have New Jersey Turnpike, Hudson County Extension, eastbound, west of interchange 14B by Liberty State Park in Jersey City. The right lane is blocked there with a crash. We have a crash on the Turnpike. It is by the express lanes northbound south of exit 72. That's up toward the GW Bridge. Right lane is blocked through there. Now, making your way toward the Holland Tunnel. We have a crash on 139, lower level, eastbound, just leaving the Jersey Turnpike. Look at the mess here. So you have fog to add to that, rain to add to that. This is by the New Jersey Turnpike Route 139 split in Jersey City. The left lane of 3 lanes closed. On I-78, tractor trailer fire. And this is by the express lanes westbound east of exit 55, which is Lyons Avenue, Newark. Right lane is closed there. Route 10 has a traffic signal down, impacting both directions at Hunter Street and Roxbury Township. And we have an overturned tractor trailer reported on the Turnpike northbound entering at James Fenimore Cooper service area in Mount Laurel Township. Again, the entrance ramp is blocked. The approaches to the Hudson River right now, Holland Tunnel, we mentioned, you saw 139. Holland is going to cost you 35 minutes because of what you have approaching it. Lincoln Tunnel is 35 to 40, and the GWB upper and lower levels 80-95 approach, just a jamming mess all morning long. Look at that, upper and lower levels. Both are going to cost you about 45 to 60 minutes into Manhattan. Good luck. It's 8:06. The 98th Academy Awards is one for the record books. Host Conan O'Brien did a great job hosting. The show memorialized the late Rob Reiner. Of course, they delved into politics a little bit. They have to. Hollywood can't help themselves. They just think that the whole world is watching their movies because they want to know their politics. We don't. Just shut up and act. Sorry, I don't want to sound nasty. Shut up and act. That's all we want. I don't care where you stand, right or left. We don't want to hear your politics, whether you're right wing or left wing. We just want to see you act. And you're very talented people, great industry. Just focus on that. Meanwhile, it was certainly an Oscar battle between one battle after another and Sinners until the very end, but only one came out on top. Paul Thomas Anderson's drama about a washed-up revolutionary battling old foes for the safety of his daughter picked up Best Picture. In all, it got 6 awards, including Best Supporting Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Director, but neither film really lost. Ryan Coogler's period vampire thriller that celebrated the origins of blues music and Southern Black culture earned 4 awards, including a history-making win in the Best Cinematography category, and a much-celebrated Best Actor victory for the extremely talented Michael B. Jordan. Love Michael B. Jordan. Hundreds of TSA officers have quit over the federal budget battle that left them working with no pay, causing hours-long flight delays and Department of Homeland Security videos blaming Democrats for the travel nightmare. More than 300 TSA officers have left the job nationwide since the shutdown began February 14th, while a slew of other workers have been taking unscheduled absences. Of course, a lot of younger people have spring break. They're trying to get away on the airport. A lot of young people, not to throw them under the bus, not known for getting there early. So you got a lot of young people missing their flights this week and last. Hobby Airport Houston saw 53% of its TSA officers calling out from March 8th, on March 8th alone, I should say, that's a week ago, and 47% the next day. Other airports have had double-digit call-out averages since the shutdown started. JFK, 21% of its TSA staff out this weekend. Newark had upwards of 53% last week on certain days. Just crazy. Yesterday, Newark's average TSA wait time, by the way, is about 30 minutes, all because you have TSA agents, and understandably so, many of them are making like between $40,000 and $70,000 a year. And this is the third time that the government has held their paychecks. So again, I don't care if you're on the right or the left, get it together and make sure these people who are trying to save our lives when we get on a plane. This has nothing to do with immigration. Nothing. This is about TSA at airports. All right. Fund these people. They do not deserve to be struggling to get their paychecks. This is ridiculous. They're working. And by the way, they're not allowed to strike because they're federal employees. Not fair. Absolutely not fair. Many of these politicos, Congress members, they're all making $175,000 to $200,000 a year. And then they have side things happening, funneling money to them. Many of them do. And meanwhile, you have these people making $40,000 to $50,000 or $60,000 a year and they can't get their check. Come on. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign minister has denied claims that Iran requested a ceasefire and says his country will fight as long as it takes. In fact, Abbas Araghchi says that Iran has never asked even for negotiations. President Trump announced Iran had requested a ceasefire, but said that he was not ready to make a deal with the country because the terms aren't good enough yet. Trump said American forces had totally demolished military targets on Iran's critical Karg Island, but suggested that, hey, I'm going to continue bombing it just for fun. Iran exports about 90% of its oil using Karg Island. Trump's announcement comes as Israel launched wide-scale strikes on Iran over the weekend as the raging war between the countries entered its third week. Firefighters in South Orange rushed through a third-story window to rescue a woman as an inferno tore through the building she lives in. It happened Saturday in the downtown area, spread to a pair of mixed-use buildings nearby. Smoke could be seen for blocks. At one point, a woman on the top floor in one of the buildings could be seen leaning out of the window, calling for help as a truck ladder was moved to reach her. South Orange Mayor Sheena Collins said no injuries were reported, thank God, and all firefighters have been accounted for. As people age, their vision often becomes cloudy, and that's usually caused by cataracts. Well, their joints often stiffen and are painful to bend, and that is usually caused by arthritis. Last Wednesday, Hackensack University Medical Center hosted an event called Passport to Geriatric Excellence. The hospital's young clinicians walked in the shoes of their oldest patients to better understand their world. They literally put on blurry glasses and shoes that would make their feet hurt so that they could understand what geriatric patients experience. Kind of a smart way to do it. With the number of Americans over 65 projected to swell to 82 million by 2050, the intent is to foster empathy for the aging population. The event highlighted why Hackensack University Medical Center calls itself a leader in compassionate care, and they are. Local educators in Watchung were treated to a fun day last Monday. ShopRite of Watchung and Cheez-It presented a $10,000 donation to support local educators in Watchung through the College Football Playoff Foundation's Extra Yard for Teachers initiative. It happened last Monday at ShopRite of Watchung. The presentation featured Cheez-It mascot Chedzi and members of the ShopRite team. My late father-in-law, was a Cheez-It addict, loved Cheez-It. So that's to my father-in-law, John. It's Mr. Cheesy right there. Chedzi, the Cheez-It guy, and members of the good folks at ShopRite of Watchung. It is now 51 degrees northern New Jersey, 58 degrees in Trenton. It's going to be mid-60s today, but then tonight down to the upper 20s. When we come back, a new sneaker culture event in Jersey City is bringing the spirit of style and philanthropy together for a great cause. Check out when it comes back. We'll have that in just a moment with the details. And showers this morning, windy, mild thunderstorms today. Some could be severe, in fact. Highs the mid-60s, and again, temps are going to drop by 35 to 40 degrees overnight. Meteorologist Mike Favetta will return with a full Garden State forecast, and we will take your calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching Now New Jersey Mornings. We're back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:15. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. Showers this morning, windy and mild. Thunderstorms likely today. Some could be severe. Highs in the mid-60s. Then the temps are going to plummet tonight. Right to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike, there was a phone call from the supreme leader of Iran for me. I'll have to take it. So in the meantime, for those wondering what I'm talking about, we just showed New York Post. New York Post posted a story. It's an exclusive to the New York Post, but it is on their website right now that the new supreme leader of Iran might be gay. I love it. That's just only a New York Post story. Anyway, Mike, I'll let you just take it in a whole different direction with the severe weather that we could be getting today.
Yep, later on today, some gusty winds, even starting off the morning with some fog and some low visibility, really gray skies across New Jersey. We could use a rainbow or two by the end of the day, but I think we'll keep it gray into this afternoon, especially with those showers that are moving through right now, starting off the morning. I see Ken in the corner. Starting off the morning with a little bit of that cloud cover, and then, of course, some storms throughout this afternoon. I don't think the storms are severe during the daylight hours today. It's tonight where the winds get really gusty, 53 mile per hour. That's a forecast gust down on LBI. And then you see that front push through, the northwesterly winds take over, and the wind chills will be much, much colder this time tomorrow. So even though it's mild now, we're in the teens and 20s, feeling like that, starting off our Tuesday and pretty much staying in the 20s all afternoon, throughout the day on Wednesday into Thursday. It's another day of what will feel like winter, and several days ahead, as winter doesn't exactly want to release its grip, at least until Friday, the first day of spring. Even then, the weekend starts off cool, as it'll be a gradual transition to the warmer weather. So wet all day today. At least it's not snowing heavily like it is out in the Midwest. We're toward Michigan, Chicago, and even Wisconsin has quite a bit of snow. That all melts by the time it reaches us. So it's just the rain today into tonight with those storms, and then colder, dry winds throughout the overnight with pretty gusty conditions throughout the day tomorrow. At least the sun returns tomorrow, and it sticks around for the better part of the week. Saturday, early in the morning, might have some showers, and then again Sunday night, but the weekend, for the most part, looks pretty dry. And then as we head into next week, it's still chilly, not exactly milder, as it'll take a while for spring to bring back that warmth. But as far as the weekend, we'll start in the 50s, transition to the upper 40s. It'll be cool all around, Ken, heading into the first weekend in spring.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. I love that. You just made me smile with that first weekend in spring line. Appreciate that. We have a temperature, by the way, right now of 51 degrees in northern New Jersey, 58 degrees in Trenton. It's been warmer all morning. So apparently this front is coming southwest to northeast and across the Midwest to the east. So it's bringing the temperatures, the warmer temperatures, or rather the warmer temperatures are from here, from the east, and they're going to clash with the colder temperatures coming from the upper Midwest. So that's going to be an interesting little collision later with the thunderstorms. In terms of traffic, we got a lot of it right now. Disabled vehicle on Route 34 westbound, south of Allenwood Road in Wall with the right lane closed. Let's go over to the Turnpike, shall we? This is by which exit, Pam, did you say you had this? All right, so that's the exit for 15E. Not sure what that is taking us to because we don't have the report, but you can see nonetheless, if you're on the Turnpike by 15E, that is bumper to bumper. It looks like the exit for 1 and 9. So just be aware of that by 15E on the Turnpike. Good eyes on Pam. We have a lot of other issues on the Turnpike to tell you about. Way up north by exit 72, which is near the GWB. We're told there's a crash there in the express lanes. Northbound by the 1 and 9 exit Englewood. All lanes are open, vehicles on the right shoulder. Then staying on the Turnpike going a little further south by 14B, Hudson County Extension, Liberty State Park, Jersey City. The right lane is blocked with a crash there. And then further south, in fact, all the way down by exit 4, I guess, there was here it is. By the overturned vehicle on the Jersey Turnpike northbound entering of the James Fenimore Cooper service area, Mount Laurel Township. So that's further south. That's by exit 4 on the New Jersey Turnpike. A lot going on. We have a tractor trailer fire still going on Route 78. That is express lanes westbound east of exit 55, Lyons Avenue, Newark, and a traffic signal down Route 10, both directions, Hunter Street, Roxbury Township. impacting all lanes right now. Also, our Hudson River crossings have been an absolute mess. The Holland Tunnel, look at the approach by 139. I don't know if we have the camera shot. If we do, great. And if not, that's okay. 139 leading into the Holland Tunnel is bumper to bumper. And it's been that way for much of the morning. So right now, your Holland Tunnel approach and through the Holland Tunnel is going to cost you 35 to 40 into Manhattan. Lincoln is about the same, 35 to 40. And the GWB is 45 to 60, with the upper and lower levels just jamming, absolutely jamming. The upper level's on the right, lower level is on the left. Our time now is 20 minutes past 8, and a new event in Jersey City is bringing the spirit of sneaker culture, style, and philanthropy together for a great cause. The inaugural Sneaker Gala will take place on April 16th, 6 to 10 p.m. at Maritime Park. Guests are asked to pair formal attire with their favorite sneakers as part of a fun fundraiser to support pediatric programs at Jersey City Medical Center. The event is from the Sneaker Room Foundation, which has already raised more than $1 million for charity. Suraj Kaufman is the founder and CEO of Sneaker Room Foundation. He is the man behind the inaugural Sneaker Gala. Good morning, Suraj.
Good morning, Ken. How are you?
I'm great. So when you dress up and you pair your sneakers, we're not talking some old dirty Converse here, not Skippies from like 1978. Wear some nice clean sneaks, right?
We're talking some exclusive stuff. If you want to wear your dirty sneakers, we don't judge. But we're talking some nice stuff that you really want to, show off. That's what we're talking about.
I love it. I love it. Well, I think this whole concept is so fun. And one of the things people, I was going to say B-I-itch, but I won't say that. I'll say kvetch. How about that? One of the things people kvetch about so much is when they have to dress up is, oh, my feet. I never wear those shoes. My shoes are going to kill me. Now you have no excuse. Wear your comfy sneaks and wear something nice on top. You could be all styling on top and be comfy. So why was it important to bring sneaker culture into this philanthropic setting?
Well, what it is when I started the store, almost 15 years ago, we always wanted to figure out a way to give back and use our platform. And that's what we've done. We've worked with the Jersey City Medical Center on numerous projects, but hospitals and big corporations, the way that they raise money is always a golf outing. It's always a formal dinner. It's nothing fun. So we wanted to take it to the next level and we wanted to do something fun. And we decided to do a sneaker gala. And, if you really look at it, think about it. CEOs are now wearing sneakers. The CEO of Apple is wearing Travis Scott Jordans. There's a congressional sneaker caucus in Washington, D.C. So it's becoming a new thing that when you wear your suits, when you wear your tuxes, you wear sneakers. So we're just taking it to the next level and using it to raise money.
And they do have the very formal black sneakers that unless your nose is right on them, you think they're wearing black shoes. And why not be comfortable? You're going to be there for the night, especially if you're going to be dancing or something. Be comfortable. So your story starts.
The only people that are complaining are women because they want to wear heels with their gowns. So that's the one that we have a little bit of a fight with, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
A few of the men too, but that's a whole other show. So now your story, I love it. It starts in Jersey City. You grew up in the Marion projects.
Yes.
How did that shape your future and the way you view the world?
Being born in the projects and coming from nothing, you figure out what something means. That's the real thing. A lot of people, everybody always says they want everything. Everybody always says they want it all. I don't. I just want what I need, and then I'll give the rest away. That's really what I've come to understand in life. And I've come to understand, do you need the house with 6-car garage? Do you need a 2-car garage? Do you need a 1-car garage? Do you need 10 cars? You need 1 car. So we've just made it a thing that when you come from nothing and you see how hard it is on the bottom, when you get a little something, you decide to help others out and try to live that way and focus on actually, embracing the world rather than taking from the world.
I love it. Too bad we don't have 10 million more of you in the state. This would be a very, very special. It's already a special state, but it would be an amazing state. You've already raised more than $1 million. A guy from the projects helped raise $1 million for local charities.
Yes.
How would you say that was difficult, or once you just presented the situation, people just came forth and helped?
It's gotten difficult now, but it was very easy because we've partnered with companies like Nike. We're doing a partnership with Adidas this week, and I actually brought something to show you. So we've done shoes like this for breast cancer. And, we've done shoes like this, for breast cancer with Swarovski crystals. And, we've done stuff like this with, Kyrie Irving for, moms.
Wow.
So, when you're selling something that actually people want, and they really like, oh my God, I need that. It's not that hard to raise $1 million because they want something. The problem is a lot of people, when they try to raise money, they're always just trying to get you to send a check, and they're always trying to get you to do something. When you're giving someone back a tangible item that they can wear, that they can show that this is why they gave the money and this is what they represent, it's kind of easy. Same thing with this gala. Like, think about it. You buy a ticket, tickets are $200 or $350 for a couple. But the thing about it is you're going to have the memory. You're going to have the pictures. You're going to have that night to remember what you did for the kids at the Jersey City Medical Center. And not only in the hospital, because this money raised also goes to all our pediatric outreach. So the mental health programs, the stuff that we do in high schools, that's where you understand what giving back is. And you're like, okay, you know what? I could spend that. And when you think about it, how much do we spend going out to dinner? You know, and it's open bar. So like, come on, like when you go to a bar with two friends, what do you run your tab up with your wife? So, you know, think about it. $350 for a dinner, for a good cause, open bar, food. I mean, you can't really beat it.
No, you nailed it. That's absolutely true. And the beautiful thing about Jersey City, it's one of the most diverse cities in the entire country. A lot of people, when they first come to America, that's where they settle. And they kind of find their footing, and they kind of learn the New York tri-state area. From Jersey City, you will find every nation on the planet. Maybe parts of Antarctica, no. But otherwise, every nation on the planet represented in Jersey City, which is the coolest thing about it. So Jersey City Medical Center takes care of the world, quite literally. And so that, would you say that that's why it was so important that you want to make sure that the children are taken care of for such a great institution like Jersey City Medical Center?
The children are our future. So if we have the children of the world here, why wouldn't we give back to them? You know what I mean? And on top of that, you have to remember, Jersey City Medical Center is the only hospital in this thriving city, in this large city. So we take care of the whole city. We take care of the whole world. And that's why the Jersey City, you know, has a special place in my heart. Plus, I was born, you know, way back. I was born at the old Margaret Haig, which was the Jersey City Medical Center back then. You know, now we have this nice building, but I was born at the old building. So it has a lot of roots. My oldest son was born at the old hospital. You know, we got to do stuff like that. And you know, the thing about it is a lot of people, when they make it or when they even get to a certain level, they decide to go somewhere else. I've kept my business here, my family's here. You know, I mean, think about it. Even, you know, our new governor was wearing Air Force Ones, the New Jersey Air Force Ones this year. Our new mayor was wearing the New Jersey Air Force Ones this year. Our old mayor, you know, Steve Fuller, man, that's my guy. He was wearing Jordans with me, cutting ribbons to opening parks. And, you know, that's the cool thing. We're just giving them an identity that really, if you think about it, we're bringing the young people that are moving into the city to understand the culture and show them, like, you know, they're into sneakers, so we're into sneakers, and let's actually do it. And, you know, think about it, a hospital, you know, the largest health system in New Jersey is accepting to this. Our new CEO, Jonathan's great, you know, and they're understanding it and they're seeing what we're doing. And they're like, you know what, we can do this. So it's really nice to see these companies changing with the times and going with us while we do this.
Hey, Suraj, we're down to 10 seconds. I need to get that website so people can get tickets.
Listen, go to sneakerroom.com. There's a link. Go to the Jersey City Medical Center. There's a link. Just Google it. Just Google Sneaker Gala. You'll see it. We're doing it. I need everyone there. And we're already 50% sold out. And today's a month away. So please get your tickets. Come have a good time. We're going to dance. We're going to cheer. And we might have some surprises.
Well, surprises. The inaugural Sneaker Gala taking place So it's taking place on April 16th, a month from today, 6 to 10 p.m. at Maritime Park in Jersey City. Suraj Kaufman, the founder and CEO of the Sneaker Room Foundation. He is the man behind the inaugural Sneaker Gala. Suraj, thanks for coming on this morning.
And thank you so much. Have a great day.
You bet. Have a great event. And thanks for watching. We'll be back in 2 minutes. A very good morning. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:31 right now. It is 53 degrees northern New Jersey, 58 degrees in Trenton. It's going to get warmer, and then it's going to get really cold. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
So, Mike, I was looking to see that because you talked about pollen levels last week. You said that they were starting to creep up, and I see that they're
Yeah.
medium in the area right now. All I know is I was cluster sneezing last night like nobody's business, although I live in a more
Uh-huh.
woodsy area than a lot of people in Morris County. And if that's an indication of things to come, oh,
Yes.
it'll be a fun spring.
It's early, right? It happens so early this year, especially with the wind that's been blowing around all that pollen. It's called turbidity. It's a meteorological term that keeps the pollen suspended in the air longer, and that's what we've got with the 50-mile-per-hour winds forecast later today. That's before the severe straight-line winds come through with the cold front later on this evening, prompting the Weather Service to likely put up some severe weather threats, especially in South Jersey, away from the cooler influence of the Atlantic. Look at that, near 70 degrees later today, and then the temperature comes dropping down like a rock into tomorrow with the frigid air, as those tree pollens will probably remain moderate for the rest of this week. Grasses, weeds, and molds, that's a later in the allergy season allergen, so you don't have to worry about those for a little bit. Tree pollen always comes first. 46 degrees, that's our average high, especially with the temperature dropping later throughout the day. So we begin with a little bit of shower activity, some wet weather. Most of the rain happens later on this afternoon, and especially into tonight. Yeah, up at 100%. And then we're dry for the next several days. Little chances of rain with some sprinkles and showers Friday into the weekend, but I think they clear out just in time for a drier afternoon on Saturday. Here's our cold front sweeping across, delivering, well, as promised, the very cold air today and tonight into tomorrow. And then with that chill lasting throughout the week, it's sunny for most of the week, but another round of cold air comes in by Thursday. That could be accompanied with a few showers, and then for Friday night into Saturday, possibly some sprinkles, clearing by Sunday afternoon. So the 7-day forecast sees a big drop in temperatures, and we stay chilly for the rest of this week with a mix of clouds and sun each day. I think that early morning rain on Saturday clears by the afternoon, delivering another round of cool weather for Sunday. But it's kind of winter's last hurrah, finishing out the week, and last day of winter on Thursday, first day of spring on Friday, bringing back some milder weather slightly into the weekend, just getting to 50 degrees most days next week.
Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate you. And the temperatures are they're creeping up little by little. 51 degrees and rain in northern New Jersey, and we have 58 degrees right now in Trenton. That's the way it is. We got a lot of traffic happening right now. That's what we have. And we've had this all morning long. A lot of it from fog. There's still areas of patchy, dense fog, and then of course we have the rain impacting much of New Jersey. So let's start if we can. Pam, you wanted to start on 139? Is that where we're starting? So we have this shot. This is approaching 139, approaching the Holland Tunnel. Take a look at this. At Summit Avenue, lower level, you'll see bumper to bumper traffic there. Look at that stopped in the tunnel. That is just at the mouth of the Holland Tunnel as you come on in. And that's just going to cost you about 35 minutes making your way into Manhattan that way. Lincoln Tunnel is not that much better, by the way. And we'll talk about that when we do our Hudson River crossings in a moment. It's also going to be about 35 minutes. Let's look at some of the other incidents, though. Right now, we have a crash on the Garden State Parkway northbound, north of exit 168, up by Washington Avenue in Hillsdale. Pardon me. The right lane and the right shoulder are closed. That's actually on I-80. On the Garden State Parkway, we have a crash north of exit 168. I-80, we have a crash at exit 52. So that's the two. They have them both listed together here. Over to Route 22, we have a crash with injuries westbound, west of New Providence Road, Mountainside. Right lane of 2 lanes and the right shoulder closed. And then about 7 miles away from there, we have a crash on 22 westbound, east of Chestnut Street to west of Michigan Avenue in Union. All lanes are open, but a significant slowdown through there. Route 10, we have a traffic signal down both directions at Hunter Street and Roxbury with a left lane of 3 lanes closed. Turnpike, we have an overturned tractor trailer northbound entering at the James Fenimore Cooper service area, Mount Laurel Township. That's down by exit 4. And then the rest of our Hudson River crossings, Lincoln Tunnel is 35 minutes in. GWB upper and lower levels, 45 to 60. Just an absolute mess. You could see the lower level is on the left. That looks like it's a little better than the upper on the right, but it's been a mess all morning long. 8:36 is our time, and while HIV may not be in the headlines as often as it once was, it remains a very serious public health issue in many communities, including in Newark. St. Michael's Medical Center is bringing healthcare directly into the community with a new mobile medical unit to provide HIV testing and prevention where people live and work. Dr. Alan Sickles is the CEO of St. Michael's Medical Center, and Dr. Jihad Slim is an infectious disease specialist at the hospital. We say good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Ken.
Well, doctors, nowadays with all the different prophylactic drugs that people can take who are sexually active, gay or straight, it almost seems like it should never happen that people are coming down, getting infected with HIV. Plus, just the idea of education and teaching people to have safer sex. But you are doing something very real. You're going out in the community with this new mobile medical unit focusing on HIV services. So what inspired the hospital to launch the initiative? Let's start with you, Dr. Sickles.
So we have a long history of caring for patients with HIV here at St. Michael's. The Peter Ho Clinic is one of the first and largest HIV treatment programs in New Jersey. And we've always been very dedicated to getting out into the community. And we recently purchased a new mobile van that's going to allow us to do that with greater efficiency, be out there more often. It's really a mobile office. It's pretty great.
You know, again, we talk about you have injections that last for months, like Apretude. You have Descovy, which is a daily pill. And these things have enormous success rates at preventing HIV. I know they're not cheap. They're very expensive. What is the barrier, would you say? And well, this is for Dr. Sickles again. What is the barrier, do you think, for many people in just doing that as a prophylactic, as a preventive? Is it because of the expense or lack of education, would you say? What do you think?
I think you raised two really good points. I think one is just a lack of education, a lack of understanding, and the other is the expense. These drugs are expensive, and if you're taking the oral medications that have to be taken every day, fortunately with the newer injectables, they can be given once every couple of weeks, every couple of months, and we're hoping to get greater compliance.
Yeah, because as long as people comply and take that medication, HIV, which when I was younger, and I'm sure you remember the era, HIV was a death sentence. Today, it's a manageable condition. And for most, I know in certain circumstances it's not so much, but for most people, and it's something that I think more people need to learn that in order to realize that we could basically eradicate it. But it takes cooperation and takes education. Dr. Slim, even though HIV isn't discussed as much in the media today, it's still very prevalent in Newark. So what is the current situation looking like in the city of Newark?
Well, the city of Newark is still, unfortunately, one of the cities with the highest incidence in the U.S. and there is a lot of difficulty for people to access care and education, as you guys were mentioning earlier. So a big need for education, a big need to reach out for people and to get rid of the stigma, which Peter Ho Medical Clinic has done a great job changing from an HIV clinic to an HIV status neutral, where everybody that is sexually active or at risk for HIV are welcome. If they test positive, they get treated right away and taken care of. And if they're HIV negative, then we try to put them on what you mentioned is PrEP, or at least counsel them about PrEP. And current PrEP is up to every 6 months injections, right, for prevention. And going in the future, we're going to have once a year probably injection. So PrEP is great, but if nobody knows about it and if they don't come to get it, then it won't help anybody. And Newark is one of those cities that will need a lot of help to get everybody on track.
And a reminder to people who are sexually active that PrEP is not an excuse not to use other things like condoms, et cetera, because there are still other communicable diseases you can get. PrEP will greatly reduce the chance of you getting HIV, but you could still get about a dozen other things. So you want to make sure that you are responsible and do this as safely as possible. We're not saying don't have sex. We're saying do it responsibly. So now this mobile unit, Dr. Sickles, represents a big investment. But yet that's the commitment the hospital has to the community. What services will it provide overall when it's out there? Is it going to be giving the education as well as the treatment?
Yes, I think you can, if you think of it as really a mobile office, it's much more of a van. When you step inside, it really does have the feel of an office. It's connected to our electronic medical record. It's got an exam room. It's got a little administrative area. And we'll use this in conjunction with our educational programs to bring HIV testing and education to the patients where they are, to bring it out into the community.
Dr. Slim, I'll ask you this. Do you find that it's younger people today who are not alerted to how easy it is to get HIV and how it doesn't have to be? Is it because I remember 25 and 30 years ago, we drilled the message home. Today, we just don't do it as much in media. Is that the cause?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right, Ken. So there is a measure that we use in HIV elimination programs is called PrEP to need ratio, the number of people on PrEP in a population over the number of people who are newly infected. And that PrEP to need ratio is the lowest in the young population in Newark. It's almost around 9, when nationwide it's around 14. So we're definitely below that. So kids need more education and help with getting on PrEP, at least, to prevent new infections.
Because infection can be zero. It can be zero, and that's the goal, right? It's just a matter of following. We already know how to get there. It's just a matter of following the path. Dr. Sickles, what's a website for people to get more information to find out where the van's going to go?
www.smmc.com, St. Michael's Medical Center.
Awesome. You're doing yeoman's work, both of you, and your entire team. Dr. Alan Sickles, CEO of St. Michael's Medical Center, Dr. Jihad Slim, infectious disease specialist at the hospital. Thank you both for coming on this morning and for helping the community like you do all the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for spreading the word, Ken. Appreciate it.
You bet. Come back anytime. We appreciate you both. It is now 51 degrees northern New Jersey, 58 in Trenton. When we come back, NJ Pack prepares for a major new chapter with several ambitious projects on the horizon. We'll be back in 2. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:46, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Showers this morning, windy and mild with thunderstorms likely this afternoon. Some could be severe, highs mid-60s, and the temps plummet by 35 degrees overnight to the upper 20s. Right to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State forecast.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
All right, Mike, it's a roller coaster as March will be.
Mhm. Yes, it is. And it starts off with the very warm weather this morning. It's mild. It's a little muggy. It's foggy in most of New Jersey. But the rain that returns is kind of indicative of just how much rain we've seen over the last week or so, at least over the last month, close to 140% of average rainfall. And the last 30 days, seeing not much of a rainfall deficit. We're pretty much at zero for most of New Jersey. Speaking of the drought, this goes back months. We had somewhat of a dry fall. So that's still showing up there in the northwestern corner of the state. But for the rest of the month of March, the dry weather persists out west. We tap into somewhat drier weather over the next 2 weeks, and into the end of the month, March is looking to be a little bit cooler than average, as kind of indicated over the next week or so. But that warm up out in the desert southwest sticks around for at least for the next several weeks. Our forecast for today points to a big drop in temperatures, like Ken was talking about. So much mild weather this morning with a few showers around, and then the thunderstorms come in tonight with that cold front, dropping temperatures very quickly down into the 20s and 30s overnight, feeling like the teens with the wind tomorrow. The sun does return tomorrow and sticks around through the rest of this week, but with the first day of spring on Friday feeling more like spring, 50s on the way, we stay cool into next week with another windy day ahead for Monday. The shore points feature a little bit of a warm up as well. Not as pronounced, in the low 50s this weekend with some clouds around, but overall not terrible. At least there's no big snowstorms on the way. So we kind of take the good with the bad, Ken.
You know what, Mike? On Friday, this is what I heard from my 87-and-a-half-year-old mother, because she heard something on the news about blizzard. Of course, it was upper Midwest.
Yeah.
So right away, we're getting a blizzard. I said, no, Mom, we're not. They said it. They said it.
Yes,
I want to track down they, whoever they are, and I want to put them in a room and have a conversation with them. They. We have to see who they are. You know, so it's always that's always the subject of conversation.
always they.
They
Yep.
said. It's always they, and they can get away with saying anything they want with no penalties. I think that's not fair. All right, Mike, I know you're busy. Have a great day, sir. Thank you very much.
Catch
And
you
we will
tomorrow.
catch you again in the morning. You got it. It is now 8:49, 48. The temperature's dropped in northern New Jersey and in Trenton, 57 in Trenton, 48 in northern New Jersey. And I think that's just the winds shifting, and that's the nature of today. But it's going to still go up to the mid 60s with rain. Let's go over to the Garden State Parkway, shall we? Way up by the Rockland County border. You see this delay on the roadways. Crash now in the Garden State. Northbound north of exit 168, Route 502. Know exactly where that is. Washington Ave and Hillsdale. All lanes are open, but the crash is causing this delay right there. You see, with the combination of the rain, some patchy fog, and now the crash. We have a debris spill on the New Jersey Turnpike outer roadway southbound, south of interchange 13 by the Goethals Bridge exit. Linden, all lanes open, metal debris in the center lane. So people are swerving to get away from that. Crash with injuries now on Route 22 westbound, west of New Providence Road and Mountainside. 2 right lanes on the right shoulder closed. We have a crash on 676 northbound at exit 1, Collings Avenue, Camden. All lanes are open. Back to 22, a crash westbound east of Chestnut Street to west of Michigan Avenue, Union Township. All lanes open, just very, very slow. Traffic signal down Route 10, both directions impacted Hunter Street, Roxbury Township. And then we have an overturned vehicle on the turnpike. It is northbound, entering a James Fenimore Cooper service area, Mount Laurel Township, near exit 4 in that area. Your Hudson River crossings, Lincoln and Holland, both 35 to 40 minutes. GWB upper and lower levels, both very heavy right now. You can see the upper level of the extreme right, then the lower toward the left by where it says 888. That's the lower level. And the combination there, it's going to cost you 45 to 60 minutes into Manhattan. 851, the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, NJPAC, has long been a cultural cornerstone in the state of New Jersey. NJPAC is now preparing for a major new chapter with a number of projects on the horizon, and it is welcoming a new leader to help guide its future. Lisa Schroeder has joined NJPAC as Chief Financial Officer and Chief Administrative Officer after serving in leadership roles at Film at Lincoln Center. Welcome, Lisa. Good morning and congratulations.
Thank you, Ken. So excited to be here in Newark.
That's great. You used to work right across the street from me when I was at Channel 7. So I know exactly
right.
where you. Yep. And they're not there anymore, and you're not there anymore now, right? Channel 7's building is gone, and you're now here in New Jersey. So what made you come to take this new role in Newark?
The work New Jersey PAC is doing is amazing. I have to say, to transform lives through the power of the performing arts, to revitalize a city, to bring arts education to the young and the old. It's amazing.
Yeah. I can remember when NJPAC was proposed. I was at Channel 7 in the city, and I remember people saying that Newark was a dead city. And one of our staffers there, who was a lifer from the North Ward in Newark, said, or as it's pronounced locally, Nurk, not Newark, Nurk. She said, Newark is not a dead city. Not when you have people there who have the passion and the soul that they have. Newark will come back. She was right. And between NJPAC and the Prudential Center, Newark is vibrant again. And you could just feel the energy and the direction it's going. And NJPAC is one of the epicenters for great art and acts for this whole section of New Jersey. How would you describe its evolution and its role in the community today versus when it was first built 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
Sorry.
Oh, we're having some audio issues. Can you hear me now? I don't know if you can hear me now, but I was saying, how would you describe the future of NJPAC, where it's headed from today? Yeah, I think we may have audio problems. Sorry. You know what? Take me to one shot, Pam, and maybe we could just work on the
Sorry,
on the
I think
audio.
I'm back.
Well, you got me?
We'll give it a shot.
All right. Good. So I was saying, how would you describe NJPAC's evolution and its role in the community today and in the years to come?
No, sorry.
All right. All right. So Pam, we'll work on it. Let's work on it, and I'll try to tap dance around here. I can remember some friends of mine who actually have served on the board at NJPAC, and if you've never attended there, it's beautiful. NJPAC is a diamond. It's not just a nice place. It's beautiful. It's easy to get to. Tons of parking. That section of Newark is great. Lots of other sections are getting there, but that section of Newark is already great. Terrific restaurants. If you're looking for a nice place to see a show, no matter where you are in the New York tri-state, or if you're flying into the New York area from another state, NJPAC, New Jersey Performing Arts Center, is really a diamond, and you're going to want to see a show there. And there are all sorts of things. They host everything from business functions to major acts. It's large enough to accommodate big populations, a large number of people, but yet it's intimate enough that it doesn't feel overwhelming. Like, I saw Chicago there within the year, and it was great. I felt like I could reach up and touch the stage, but that's NJPAC. It's a fabulous, fabulous venue. And I just urge people to check it out. We're going to try desperately to get back Lisa. We may be having issues. We'll have Lisa on another day, if anything, to talk more about her new position. Lisa is now the Chief Financial Officer. And I remember when Lisa Schroeder was at Film at Lincoln Center, which was right across from where I was at Channel 7 on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, at about 62nd Street and Columbus Avenue. And her job over there was to make sure that that when Lincoln Center presented major films or some of the classic films, that there would be publicity for it to get people to come, because Lincoln Center is fantastic. Although I think Lincoln Center could, with all due respect, as much as it's historic and iconic, Lincoln Center needs a little cleaning up. Whereas the folks here at NJ Pack, they got it together. NJ Pack is beautiful. So if you haven't been there, you really need to get there. All right, we will have Lisa Schroeder back another time. She is fantastic, and we wish her well with her new role. Lisa Schroeder is NJ Pack's new Chief Financial Officer and Chief Administrative Officer. Best of luck to her with that new position, and we thank her for coming on this morning. Again, we're having some technical issues. I think the rain is causing the gremlins today, causing the impact on our equipment. It is now 52 degrees northern New Jersey, 58 degrees in Trenton. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says we will have rain showers through the morning, windy and mild with thunderstorms likely today. Some could be severe. Highs today mid-60s. Temperatures are going to drop by 35 degrees tonight, getting us down to the mid to upper 20s. So any rain on the ground, any water could flash freeze. Be very careful of that. Beware if you're heading out tonight that you may want to put down some salt. Once all the rain stops, the thunderstorms stop, and things look like they're getting dry, put down some salt because that stuff on the ground is going to freeze quickly. All right, just be careful. And that is on New Jersey Mornings for your Monday, March 16th, 2026. I'm Ken Rosato. Remember, you could stream us at onnj.com, also at onlaca.com on the West Coast. You can see us on Roku, Fire TV, News On, Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Now we're streamed live on Substack, Rumble, Twitch, and Local Now. We'll catch you again tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Tell all your friends about us. Till tomorrow, have a wonderful day. And again, be careful with the severe thunderstorms heading our way later today. You're going to want to dress accordingly, wear some galoshes, and bring a good umbrella because it's going to get nasty for a while before it stops. Have a good day.